Welcome back to End Times Prophecy News. Well, we got Bill Maher was just exposed. Look what we uncovered. Bill Maher, who has recently taken credit for the fall of Milo Yiannopoulos after he appeared on his show, was just exposed in an old video advocating for a sexual predator. Taking credit for the fall of Milo Yiannopoulos. How sad.
The teacher from Seattle, who is in jail because she is in love. That's how I view it. I admit that it's unorthodox. She is 35. The boy is 14. He was younger when they started. But the big story this week.
Has he been bar mitzvahed?
Have I?
No, is he?
Oh. Okay. But she is pregnant again. That was the story this week. With the second child by this boy. So basically they're having a family and they're keeping the mother in jail because she won't conform to what society feels should be the perfect American family.
Yeah, it's perfect. My dad's 14 years older than me.
Absolutely sickening.
What is sickening?
A woman who's over 20 years older and she raped this kid.
Raped?
What?
Come on. She forced? How do you know? And how can you?
Well, how do you know that she didn't rape him? How do you know that she didn't seduce him?
How can a woman rape a man?
I think that an older woman can manipulate a young kid, and I don't think it's really healthy. I don't think it's healthy for a kid who's going to be 14 with 2 kids out in the world. I think those children will grow up fairly damaged. I think that kid's going to grow up fairly damaged.
So you're on her side?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Bill Maher takes credit for the fall of Milo Yiannopoulos and destroying his life halfway, financially and successfully. Then he condones a 35-year-old female teacher with a 12-year-old male student and says that she never raped him. There was no such thing as statutory rape, according to Bill's mind, and that it's okay for a 12-year-old boy to get a 35-year-old woman pregnant. Teacher. No. She's in jail because she's in love. The sick, twisted world of Bill Maher. I bet the pedophile Pope is very happy with you. San Jose Mayor makes a startling admission, and it's bad. Please share and comment if you think the flood could have been handled better. San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo admits failures in the way the flood was handled. He admits failures in the flood evacuation order. We are assessing what happened in that failure. There's always a failure with the government, huh? The mayor of San Jose acknowledged that the city failed to properly notify residents to evacuate during a flood emergency early Wednesday, when some people said they got their first notice by seeing firefighters in boats in the neighborhood. City officials ordered more than 14,000 residents to evacuate as water from swollen Coyote Creek flooded homes and temporarily shut down a portion of a major freeway. Another 22,000 people near the creek had been encouraged but not required to evacuate. If the first time a resident is aware that they need to get out of their home is when they see a firefighter in a boat, that's a failure, Mayor Sam Liccardo said at a news conference. We are assessing what happened in that failure. Liccardo declined to go into details, saying there would be a time for reflection after the emergency was over.
Let's go to Neil Karlinski in San Jose, where they've evacuated hundreds of people from the flooding. Good morning, Neil.
Michael, good morning. Just imagine if this was the main street into your neighborhood. To give you a sense of how deep it is, take a look at some of the cars parked along there. It was quite a scene as they were pulling people out of here yesterday. Take a look at some of these video of rescue officials on boats taking out entire families, even babies. More than 200 people had to be rescued from here. Making matters worse, the water is heavily polluted with sewage and chemicals. All of this, the direct result, they say, of runoff from a nearby reservoir. In fact, much of the rivers and reservoirs across Northern California are at their tipping point. They've had just so much water from so many storms. Fortunately, it is now beginning to ease off. It's not raining. The forecast is looking a little bit better. The water is actually starting to recede here just a little bit, but it'll still be days before people get back in here, Michael.
Well, we hope they have a fast recovery. All right, thank you, Neil. And let's go back to Ginger for more on the western storm that is moving east, and Ginger's bringing severe weather with it.
It has a whole lot coming with it. Snow, severe weather, but the snow in the Sierra is something we didn't even get to see. We saw the pictures of the water. That is Interstate 80, a pileup that has happened many times this winter already. The roads are really suffering in parts of California thanks to all that moisture. But as Neil said, things are starting to wind down. We'll see those flood watches expire throughout today and early tomorrow. But the winter storm watch that goes from Wyoming up through Wisconsin, that's where we turn our attention now. You see right there, Minneapolis by Friday morning, heavy snow flying. We're talking 6+ inches in some spots. And then that severe weather. You have that strong temperature gradient, very cold, very warm.
What, she's wearing a mini skirt? Another thing she's not going to report to you here is that the snowpack in the mountains above all these cities in the valley, which flood the area throughout the spring, is almost double the normal level. Yeah, 180%.
Warm, you could have severe weather in parts of Indiana and Ohio. Much more to come on that, Michael. And Robin, back to you.
In other words, stay tuned.
Exactly.
All right.
I don't know if that's a mini skirt, but pretty close to it. Amazing. Mike Pence just made a move that no one saw coming. Vice President Mike Pence visited a suburban Jewish community cemetery in St. Louis that had been vandalized with over 150 headstones damaged. Pence went to lend a hand in the cleanup effort. ABC's News reported, he says there is no place in America for hatred or acts of prejudice or violence or anti-Semitism. Pence says at the cemetery in University City that the people of Missouri are inspiring the nation with their love and care for this place. He is thanking them for showing the world what America's really about. Pence was joined by Missouri Governor Eric Greitens. The vice president spoke earlier in the day in the St. Louis suburbs and condemned the incident as a vile act of vandalism. The cemetery posted on Facebook that 154 headstones were vandalized in the damage discovered Monday. This is sick. Pence says at the cemetery in the University City that the people of Missouri are inspiring the nation with their love and care for this place. He is thanking them for showing the world what America is really about. Why would people want to vandalize a cemetery? Top candidate for DNC chair believes Trump deserves impeachment. Going full retard here, and look who's head of it. Mr. Muslim Propaganda Keith Ellison, a real Muslim. Minnesota Representative Keith Ellison, a top candidate to take over as chair of the Democratic National Committee, called Wednesday for an impeachment investigation of President Donald Trump. It's starting. They're going full retard now. I think that Donald Trump has already done a number of things which legitimately raise the question of impeachment. Yes, he's taking Muslim propaganda out of this nation. That's right. He's going to do it. I know he is. Ellison said during a debate on CNN on Wednesday with his fellow DNC chair hopefuls. Yeah, he will through his A-team. He won't do it directly. Ellison, a real...
Thank you. Congressman Ellison.
Nasty swamp creature.
3 of your colleagues in the House, Maxine Waters, Jamie Raskin, and Joaquin Castro,
here we are in corrupt national news,
have publicly raised the specter of impeaching President Trump. Do you stand with them or with House Leader Nancy Pelosi, who believes impeachment talk is premature?
I think that Donald Trump has already done a number of things which legitimately raise the question of impeachment. I mean, on day one, he was in violation of the Emoluments Clause. This is a part of the Constitution that says, as the president, you can't get payments from a foreign power. The day people checked into his hotel, started paying him, who were foreign dignitaries, he was in violation of that law. There's already a lawsuit filed against him. And right now, it's not about only Donald Trump. It is about the integrity of the presidency. So, yeah, I think that we need to begin investigations to not go after Donald Trump, but to protect our Constitution and the presidency of the United States.
Is that what you guys do? Nah, you do the exact opposite. You shred the Constitution up, you joke. Pathetic joke. Islam infiltrator. That's all you are. And emolument clause? Where were you when Obama and Hillary Clinton were doing their pay for play? Nah, you won't talk about that. Why? Because you have an agenda to bring Sharia law to this country. Pathetic puke for a representative of the people of the United States. That'll be all for this report. Thank you for listening.